I'm mayor of Nome, Alaska. I've lived here for 30 years. It's a gold rush town originally. The gold rush is still there, though. We're in the middle of a second one with a high price of gold. Its value today is $1,340 an ounce. But we're parked in front of the Swansburg dredge. Barged up here, the pieces were reassembled and put together to form a dredge. This is a way of getting gold. The gold here is placer gold. It is gold that is loose in the environment. You take the material which you hope there's gold, put it into a gold pan, for example, or in a machine like this into a trommel, add water, everything's in a slurry. You agitate, gold's the heaviest thing in the pan, boom, it goes to the bottom, and water washes off everything else.
1959 is when we bought it and hauled it over here over to Basin Creek. And that's where we're mining now, and we'll continue to. You talk about the dredge like a ship, port and starboard, bow and stern. Well, the bucket line goes around what they call the ladder. The buckets carry the material off the ground under the water and dumps it into a hopper at the head, and then it in turn goes through a big screen, takes out anything bigger than 3 inches in diameter, which go out the tailing stacker in the stern, in the back. The dirt will be stuck to the bottom of the sluice box, and you just need to work it back and forth. See a little gold right there? We usually plan on 1 ounce per hour. We know enough about where it is. Then you get the water to help you. Then eventually you put that pan underneath and just sweep it into it, you know. That stops the bucket line, this starts it. Then I would let it go down a little. You watch that red mark on that pulley? That shows me how far I'm dropping it, see? Now we're starting a cut, sweeping across. Going to the right, that would be starboard. This is what the clutch I would put in, and this is the brake I would let go. And it would take us all the way over. I would stop it, throw the clutch out. Now we're going back the other direction. I pull that clutch in, and it starts sweeping us across all the way over to the other side. Then you also tighten up this line over here on this side. So you have lines going from the bow back and the stern forward. Simple, huh?
This dredge here is dredge number 5, constructed in 1939. I worked in the thaw fields here for the gold company. We used to have to thaw the ground before the dredge could actually dig it. The dredge moved on its own pond, digging the material out in front of it, running it through, processing it, and then disposing of it in the back. There are about 120 buckets on that bicycle chain. The buckets themselves are 9 cubic feet, and then it basically took a crew of 4 people. There was a winchman that was up in the top. There was a deckhand that spent most of his time sitting in what they called the doghouse in the back. Then there were 2 oilers. There were a lot of big nuggets, but most of the gold in this area was much finer. Anything above a 4-mesh screen was not recovered and probably can be found in the tailing piles behind.
The dredge behind me is dredge 5, and we're about to enter and take a look. And we're on a lower deck, and we're going to start looking at some of the many things that are in this dredge. So in this area you can see the sluice boxes, but here's where all the gold was gathered. Pulled all the carpets, cleaned them, and got the gold out of them. This trough was spun, and there was pumps providing water, and it washed the rock and separated the gold from the other particles. There's a complex set of cables that move this conveyor up and down and side to side.
Well, we're here in the winch room for dredge number 5. This dredge, being larger, had multiple banks of winches. This here was the control that actually raised and lowered the bucket line. This one went from side to side, which simply controlled his movement as he was digging. And then there's a gauge there on the side. The dredge itself could dig down to about 110 feet, down to bedrock, where the gold actually was located.
And Nome was the last of the Great Alaska Gold Rush, which was also the richest. So a lot of gold came out of here, and to a degree still does.